Let's start the day, guys. Let's start the training. And the agenda which we are going to cover today is working with the file system. Working with the file system. And as we all know, in Linux, everything is file. Everything, everything is file in Linux. File in Linux. So, even though if you are going to perform some task, some processes will run. In that processes will be again some file. So here in the Linux, everything will be file only. Now, how we are going to manage those files? What all are the ways to navigate towards files and directory in the Linux? That we will be seeing. Apart from some basic commands for managing files and directories, and we will compare the absolute and relative paths. So this is our agenda, guys. And when we start with navigating the files and directory, as you all know, the simple way is to use cd that we have used. Let's see here. everything is Everything in Linux is a file. Commands, hardware, directories are represented as files again. Whatever commands you are running, whatever hardware you do have, directories, everything will be represented here as a file. Most system configurations will be also file, like a document as you do have file, da commands you will be having file, devices file, and directories file. These entire will be file only in the Linux, right? In the Linux, everything will be file. Now,
Hello, sir.
yes, yes, please, guys, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Audible.
All right, all right. So, here, once we need to list, as I have told you, if you need to list, or you can say list, basically, if you need to list files, you will be using ls command. You will be using ls command, and if you will use ls command with option -l, can list the ls command configuration file in that way, like in this way, like rwx, rwx, and then the file name. Everything will be coming in such a way you can easily understand whether it is a directory or file, what all are the permissions are there, how many files are there in the directory, who is the user, this file belongs from which user, from which group, size of the file, date of the creation, and name of the file. So this we will be able to see once you will use ls or ls space -l command to list the files or directory. And now if you need to give the file name in Linux, guys, then you can give the file name. Apart from the extension, you can give whatever extension you will give, it will take it as the same file type. For example, if you are keeping list.txt, it will become txt. List.pdf, it will become pdf. List.jpg, it will become jpg image, something like that. If you keep writing the extension, it will just take the same type of data here. And the files which we are using in the Linux, they are case sensitive. They must be unique within the directory. Means if you have created already a file by the same name, you cannot create another file. They should not contain slash or space. File name should not contain slash or space. This is the example which shows three different types of file here. My file, my files list.txt, my file.txt. These all are the way of writing the file name. And if you need to give the extension, extensions are optional and not necessary map to application, but whatever you will be giving, it will take. And you are strongly advised to have consistent extensions. For instance, a .jpg image could be named as a image.txt, even though this extension would not make sense, right? So whatever the extension you do have, you should try to use the same extension in the same way. Now, file system is the name, it is a way of naming, retrieving, organizing data on the storage disk. What is file system? How basically how we are going to give the name of any directory or any uh, uh, f- uh, what do you say, file, and how to retrieve it and how to organize. Let's say this file is into this directory, 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 this file is this file, and they are on the directly we kept it on the hard disk. So naming of a file, retrieving a file, organizing data on the storage disk is nothing but file system. Now, how the Linux file system works, guys. This is really important. If you understand this, you will understand entire Linux. If you understand this, you will understand entire Linux. So let's see the lab. From there itself, we will try to bring everything. So the first thing we need to log in into the uh, Linux machine. Everybody, please log in into Linux machine. We'll open putty. We'll write ec2 hyphen user at the rate public IP address, and we'll associate, we'll upload, we'll select the key pair, and then we'll open. So guys, the first thing which we have seen under the file system is, what is file system? If we need to understand what is file system in the Linux. So file system means if you need to create or retrieve or manage or naming, these all will come as a file system, right? For example, if you are creating a file, you can use VI editor, VIM editor, which we have gone through yesterday. We can use nano, and these two we can use for now. You can use touch command also to create the blank file. Let's say if I'll keep file.txt, it will take the same extension. You can use ls to list the file, file.txt. Now I have created one file by the name of file.txt. If I write file.txt, so it will tell me to overwrite it. See, it has overwritten already. There is only one file. There is no content in the text file. That's why it did not ask to overwrite. But it will, we cannot create two. You can see now only file.txt. And if you are talking like it is case sensitive, it means that if I'll just write file.txt again, so this file and that file both will be different. This will be considered as a different, this will be considered as a different, because it's a case sensitive. Next here, if you do ls space hyphen l, what you will see, you will be seeing the permission, this one dash shows, first dash will show it is a file, dash will show it is a file, and these remainings are permission. This is the number of file, and this is your user who owns this file, this is the group who owns this file, this is the size of it, on which date and time it has been created. Every detail we are able to get of this file. Now at the place of file, if you create a directory by keeping up the command mkdir, let's say directory 1. So directory 1, if we list by ls, then it will come in blue color so that you can identify, or else if you type ls space hyphen l, it will start with the d. Directory will always start with the d. Now, now we will come into the Linux file system hierarchy. How exactly Linux file system hierarchy works, guys? Means how the file will start. Let's say when we are going to work with the Linux file system, so as I've told you, everything start with the slash. Slash will become the topmost directory. Topmost directory. It is the directory. And if you need to change the directory, what is the command, guys, to change the directory? Anybody?
CD.
CD is the command to change the directory.
CD.
CD space, and then in which directory you have to go, you can go. So now, if I'll tell you to go, see, if I'll do ls, these files are coming. But if I need to go into the topmost hierarchy, topmost directory of the Linux system, inside everything will be there. So simply I'll type cd space slash. But what, this easy to user can access it? Of course, no. You may go, but you cannot do anything. So rather than doing this, first of all, we should become the root user here. We have to become root user first. Once we become the root user, now we can see, now there is no any file here, ls no file, because the present working directory is slash root. In slash root there is nothing, but we need to go in slash, means we have to type cd space slash, enter. Now you are into the, now your, what is your present working directory? Slash. Now this shows, slash shows user is in the topmost directory. Means see, it is so simple. How to understand, I'll tell you. See, what is the meaning of topmost directory? Topmost directory means, let's say this is one folder you do have, let's say folder A. Inside the folder A you do have three folder, let's say folder X, folder Y, folder Z, folder Z. Inside folder Z you do have three folder called folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. Inside folder 1 there is three folder, can say folder P, folder Q, folder R. So uh, now in everywhere, let's say multiple folders are there, everywhere multiple folders are there as a tree branches, tree branches. So where is the root? Root is folder A, like the same slash is the root, not the root directory, not the root directory, it is the root of the entire hierarchy. This is the root of entire hierarchy, from where everything is coming. Inside this, inside this, inside this directory, this slash is nothing but it is a directory, guys. It is a directory. It is a folder. It is a folder. This is folder only. Slash is folder only. If you go into this folder, there you will be getting all the file system of Linux. If you do ls here, if you do ls here, you will get all the file system of Linux, like bin, boot, dev, etc, home, lib64, local media, mount, opt, proc, root, run, sbin, srv, sys, tmp, usr, var. So these all are the file system that we are getting here. Now we need to know about each file system in the Linux. What is the purpose of bin? What is the purpose of boot? What is the purpose of dev? Because uh, you know, this root, guys, this root, who is the user now? Who is the user? Who am I? If I'll show you who am I, it will say you are root. But what is your present working directory? It is saying slash. But inside the same only you will be finding out root also. In the same only you will be finding out the home also. See, this is the root. This user, this user's home directory is this one, root. Root user home directory is root. So if you will change it to root, now your present working directory will be slash root and user is also root. So above the root, the slash directory is there. Above the home, slash directory is there. Above the bin, slash directory is there. Above boot, slash directory. Because uh, slash is the topmost directory. Inside that, these all are the branches. These all are the branches. So again, if you need to go to file system, just type cd space slash. You will go into the topmost directory. You will go to the topmost directory. Everything will be there in the same directory. You need to only follow it. You will be able to come to know one by one. Even slash etc, if you see the etc, guys, ls, if you see etc, etc is also here. Everything will be here. Whatever you are going to do, everything will be inside the slash. Inside there will be multiple directory. There you will be keeping up. Now, log files will be available into the var. So if you see the var is also here. Var is also here. See, var is also here. So what we are going to do now, we will be just checking out these files one by one. So Linux file system, guys, Linux file system, we will start one by one so that you will be having much more clarity on it, what to, where to find out the details, and I'll be showing you one by one. So guys, did you log into your lab? Can anybody update me? Are you able to understand what I'm speaking? Did you log
Yes, sir.
into your
Yes, sir.
lab?
Yes, sir.
Did
Yes,
you
sir.
start your lab?
Yes, sir.
Very good. We will start one by one. Just give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. Done. So, all right, guys. Let's start it one by one. So the first one is slash, which we have seen. It is the topmost. You can say root up the file system. From here only all the branches will come. This is nothing but root. Slash is your root. Slash is your root. Now, first one is coming as a boot, slash boot. Basically, inside the boot, you will be having boot files and kernel. What is the meaning of boot files and kernel? For example, if you see here, boot. So boot is here. Boot is here. If you go to boot, cd space boot, See, if you list here, so these files which we are getting here, config 4 point this Amazon 2, and this is the graph file, this is the EFI file, this is INIT file, this is sys mver file, system map file, VM Linux. Uh, what is the purpose of these files, guys? What these files are? Basically, what will happen? Let's say if you start the Linux operating system, if you start the Linux operating system, so first time even if you will install, or if you are going to start, so for some time your system used to boot, your system used to boot. Specifically, the booting process happen once we are installing the OS. But whenever you are starting, once you will start the OS also, that time few files from boot system will run. It will run to give you the operating system so that you can perform the task. For example, let's say, for example, slash boot directory slash boot in Linux. So you can see here the Linux boot process start when the BIOS or UEFI is INI initialized. INI initialized. See, INI and initialized both are two word. INI stand for the application. So what it will do, if your operating system will start, at the same time INI process will run to start your application, which does support the boot. And here it is telling the bootloader perform a power on self test. This will perform once you will start the boot process, then it will perform a power on self test, post test. The bootloader is then loaded, which finds the starts the Linux kernel. The kernel then is initialize the system components and manages hardware instructions. So Linux boot process, these all are the Linux boot process, as you can see. The first one is BIOS. The BIOS will get initialized first, and the master boot record loads and execute the bootloader. In the grub, the bootloader, grub is also a bootloader, will be loaded and executed. The Linux kernel is located, and that time it will start this INIT process. Our systemd takes over and launches the system services, run level programs. Means you can say the basic part of the operating system which can be done while starting the operating system or while installing the operating system. Related to that, the file which we are is storing, that is into the slash boot. Every Linux system has a boot directory called slash boot. In that contains all the file needed for the boot process. Now you need to know one thing, guys. This gives us entire answer. These lines gives us entire answer. So if you need, I will just maintain one file also, so that if you need to remember these directories, uh, slash boot, these directories, so that these text will help you out one by one. So what is the purpose of boot directory, guys? Every Linux system has a boot directory called slash boot that contains all the file needed for the boot process. And it is also showing us what boot process. Under the boot process, the BIOS will get initialized, the boot record loader will be loaded, and grub will be loaded, and then kernel will be starting, and then kernel will start INIT process that will take over the system, and some of system process will also start. and you will be getting your system. So this is the boot directory, and in the boot these type of files we do have. These type of files we will be running. Got it, guys? Boot is clear.
Yes, sir.
Next one is DEV. DEV is device file. DEV is device file. Let's say in Windows, guys, in Windows, generally if we are attaching, let's suppose in Windows what we are doing. In Windows, let's say if you are having one uh, any device, let's say you have connected with a camera. So this camera needs a driver to run.
Sir,
Yes,
yesterday I said about one problem, no, sir. It is software connection error, like inputting.
yes.
It's coming again, sir. Once you, can you see once?
Now only, or once we complete this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So let's say if you are connecting any audio device, basically in Windows, audio, video, camera, and any hardware device which we connect with our even printer also, if you will connect with your system. So in the system there used to be some driver. In the system there should be some driver, or you need to install this driver separately to communicate with this hardware. So all the device related file, means all the driver related file of Linux will store into the /dev. So here if we see /dev, so it will show us the dev in Linux dev directory in the Linux contain the device file with which represent devices connected to the system. Devices connected to the system. These files are also known as device specific file or device node. So guys, as you can see in the example, it is telling us how many hardware device like hard disk partitions, CD, ROM, speaker device, floppy drive, random number generator, or any other hardware device. If you will connect with the operating system, those details you will be able to get into /dev, which means this directory will contain the driver files or device file which represent devices connected to the system. These files are also known as device special files or device node. Let's see it in the Linux. So if you need to go back, because our topmost directory is slash. If I'll go in the slash, then only I can go back into some other directory, because boot was here, now dv is here. So I cannot go into dv without going into slash, right? We can go, but that is not the current purpose right now. So if we need to go into dev, we need to first go into cd slash. Once we reach into the topmost directory, and then here simply we can write cd dev. Or directly if you need to go anywhere, then you can just write cd slash this directory. Let's say now if I need to go into boot, so if I write cd boot, I cannot go into boot, right? But at the same place, if I write cd space slash boot, first of all, the topmost directory will come, and inside that boot is there, so it will bring us there. Now from here, if I need to go back to dev, so I can first method is I can go back cd space dot dot, I can go back. And let's suppose you went somewhere else in home. From here, if you need to go to dev, so you will just write cd space dev. you will come into DV. So what type of device file we do have in DV? Let's see. Let's see, guys. What all are the device component which we are connecting? See, this is TTY. These all are the TTY. TTY. These all are the terminal. Virtually, if you need to connect the machines, you will be using the TTY, this terminal to connect. See the network device, network latency, network throughput, network devices you can see. You can see here, you can see here CPU, core, console, block, the disk we can also see. So if you will connect, if you connect any hardware to your operating system, those device file will store here into the slash dv. In boot related file we are storing, in slash dv device related file we are storing here, right? This is the top two. The third one is slash etc. So I'll show you slash, and here you can see the examples of this slash dv cd-rom if you do have, or speaker dsp you do have, or fd not floppy drive if you do have. So like that we can see all these folders files there into dev, right? It contains the driver, it represents the devices which are connected with your operating system. The next one is slash etc in Linux. So it will be keeping all the configuration files, guys. As you can see, slash etc directory in the Linux, slash etc directory in the Linux is a central location for storing configuration files and directory for the operating system. Means entire configuration files and directory, if you need to, if you need to store, you will be storing into the etc we used to call etc etc directory. Here we are keeping up the passwd in which we are storing the user's account info, their user id, their group id, their home directory details, their default shell details. We are just keeping up into a file in a plain text under the passwd that comes under the etc. In the password of it, password which is encrypted password, we are keeping into the shadow. In under the etc itself, there is services, a file that application used to translate service names into port number when connecting to a machine across a network. We do have etc network, the DARPA network we do have here, the host we do have, group here we do have, and it will also list the file system mounted automatically at startup. So this is the use of the slash etc, guys. You will be keeping all the etc file, or sometime we used to call it is nothing but, it is nothing but to store the configuration files of the Linux. So etc directory is a central location for storing configuration files in directories for the operating system. For example, let's say if I'll clear up the screen and if we go cd space slash etc, there if we list the files, these all are the files, you can see these all are the files. Out of it, if you need to automate the task under the Linux, you can use cron tab here. Cron tab part you can use in the Linux to automate. That configuration also come under the etc. Your password related stuff, guys, which we were using, like passwd, which we were using here. So you can also check that file is here. Passwd is also here. If you need to check where we were storing the password. Here it is shadow. If you need to check the group which we have worked before, group is here. If you need to find a group password, it is here. Host name is here. So there are, you can set up, the network stuff also from here, the DHCP, multiple, almost all the configuration files of Linux you will be getting under the /etc. Next one is home/home. /home, guys, it is the standards users home directory. /home, /home will become, /home is standard users. /home directory in the Linux is a folder that stores users personal files, document and settings. So that's why we can call this home is made for, this home is made for the what do we say, this home is made for the standard users folders in their personal files. For example, if you go to home now, cd space/home, here if you see, there is ec2 user. So for ec2 user, this directory has created here, and this is the home directory of ec2 user. Like the same, if you create any other directory, sorry, any other user, by the same name of the user, one directory will be created, and in that directory, that standard users personal files, everything we will be keeping there. So that is the purpose of keeping up the home here. Last day also we have seen, if you want to see it, you can just, how to add the user, let's say user 1, right? And now if you list here, see, user 1 directory has created. I have created the user, but at the same time by the same name user 1 has created. Now if I need to log in as a user 1, and if I need to go into user 1 directory, cd space user 1, and here I can perform any task. My home directory, it is, means user 1 home directory is this, and here this user can perform anything. Let's say if I'll keep touch command in file 2, I'm creating a file 2. Now if you see who owns this file, so if you keep ls space -l, it is telling this file owned by the user 1 only. This file 2 is owned by the user 1. But at the same time, if you exit from here and if you log in as a root, if you log in as a root, and here if you create any file touch, create a file 3, so now if you check who owns this file, root, file 3 owns by root. User 1, this user 1 is owned by user 1 in user 1 group, and ec2 user is owned by ec2 user and ec2 user. These also you will be learning in detail into the permission. So home directory we are using for the standards users home. Coming to the next, we do have media, removable media. So if we need to know about the media, guys, removable media means if you are attaching the pen drive, if you are keeping up the some other memory, sorry, storage related stuff, it is related to media files, guys, in the directory that store them. Media players can play them, like your, you know, music, video, these kind of files. If you need to store, you will be keeping into the media. Media is used to store the media related files. If you go back here, you can see there is an image. You can find out, this picture. This is what a picture which we can see right now. So guys, if you see, this picture will show the entire things of this thing, and it has been given, one example also, right? One example. And this blog will help you to understand, but not all the directory it has been given in the example. Here you can see this is the slash one, this is the slash one. In inside the slash directory, these all are the file system. The first one is binary, where you will store the system binaries data, and then boot files, and then kernel process file in the process, and then var variable files, mnt mount files, media automatic mount points, or you can say media files which we need to play, that we will be keeping, devices for keeping up the drivers, etc for configurations. Root will be the home of the root is not the home of the root user, can say one case, but it is inside that you will be creating, this is the root, sorry, not home, root. In this home is contain all the users home directory. This is absolutely correct. So this GIF I'll save it. And guys, now we are going to see the media. We have seen media, and if I need to note it out here, the next one is media slash media. So media mi, no, media, media, media directory to store the media files and directory that you can play into the player, media player, right? Next one is mnt. mnt, it is telling mnt we are using for network drives. mnt, next one is mnt in Linux. See guys, I am showing you one by one. See, the next one is mnt is a directory used to mount point for temporary attaching file system from devices like a hard drive, USB or CD-ROM. So if you need to mount, you will be learning in the Linux again, guys, how to mount. I'll be telling you this mounting part also in other lab. So if you need to mount any other storage, so this is the directory where you will be creating a mount point for your temporary attaching storage. It can be file system, right? Like your hard drive, USB drive, like that. So if we go back, so we will be able to see the few last. Root is the root user's home directory that we all know. In var will store the logs file. Logs means entire activity, whatever the activity we will perform, it will store into the log file. A network traffic which is coming and going, everything will store into the var file. And we will be seeing not only this much, we do have the machine also here. If we see, guys, we do have so many here. We have seen boot, dev, etc home. We have seen media, mnt. We have seen root. We have seen var. But there are some other, like bin. What is the purpose of bin here, guys? Bin. So bin will store the binary data, or you can say it is used to contain all the commands for all the users. It will keep all the commands for all the user. Either the user is what do you say, um, user is root user or standard user. This bin, specifically if you go into bin, and if you go into bin and if you list, it will give you all the commands. These all are the commands that we are going to use. These all are the commands. It will store the commands that we are going to run in the shell. See, pwd we have used, right? PS tree is there, process tree you can see, and these uh, AT and BC, and if you need to if you know some of command you want to search, you can search it out also, guys. You can search the commands here. Let's say what command we know, ls, so we will go in lm. See, this is the ls here, ls. If you know some other command, change directory, cd, so you can go to find out the cd. And if you need to know creating a directory, mkdir, so you will go to m part, mkdir. See, you will be getting all the all the commands here. That's why it is telling the binary directory in Linux content in essential commands that are used by all users to boot, repair, restore the system. And these command will also store the script. So here you can see, ls, cp, mb, rm, chmod, cat, all the commands will be coming into the same. So now if we need to understand bin directory, the purpose of bin is to store the commands. Moving up to the next, we will be checking out from here itself rather than going back to the documentation, because the documentation one we have completed. Now you can see it. Bin is bin, boot, dev, etc, home. This is done. Now we do have lib and lib64. Lib and lib64 in the Linux library, we used to call lib in library directory in the system. So library directory in the system contains shared library images and kernel modules that are required to boot the system and run commands, right? This lib basically for boot part, it we are keeping up here. This we can say lib slash lib. The lib directory in the Linux contains shared library images and kernel module that will be required to boot the system and run the commands. And next one is your lib64. Next one is lib64. 64. So it is lib64 is for software using the 86 and 64 instruction set. Lib32 for software using 86 instruction set, and libx32 software using this. This is for software use, guys. This is for software use. So lib and lib64 directories are default location where the shared libraries of your Linux system will get stored. Shared library of it will store in both of the directory. And then we do have local. Then we do have local here. So here we will keep local. What is the use of local in the Linux? Slash local in the Linux. So slash local, as you can see, a name used to describe variable, right? So local space, it is the hierarchy under the USR. Mostly you can find out, or directly you can get it into the what do you say, uh, in slash local in Linux file system. File system. The basic file system for Linux operating system is termed as a local file system. It is stored any data file as it is in a single copy. It is stored data files in three format, right? Three format. Basically those format we can also see here. right? So these all are the format in which it will store. Locally, if you need to store the file, that time you can use this directory. And next one is media. We have seen mount opt, OPT. This is very interesting, guys. OPT directory is very interesting. Any guess? If you need to install any software packages, guys, software if you need to install, so the software related packages will store under the /opt directory, /opt directory. So here if we need to keep /opt directory, so we can say this directory in the Linux is used for installing add-on software packages. It's different from the USR directory, which is used for system-wide software installation. USR is getting used for system-wide software installation. This is for add-on. If additional directly the software of your Linux will is install in /USR. If additional software you are installing, that will go into the /opt. And next OPT. Next one is proc. Proc means process. This is for running process in the Linux. If every process, whatever the process you will be running, that will that detail we will be getting here. So it is a directory in which the virtual file system that provides information about the Linux system process and kernel. So this particular directory will keep up the process related info of the Linux. So /proc will contain the process related files into this directory. It created dynamically when the system boots up. When system boots up, automatically it will get created. Root we have seen. Guys, this root is the home directory of the root user. Like the same yes bin we are using to store all the commands for the root user or all the user you can say, but specifically yes bin we are using here directly for yes bin we are using for storing the commands which can be used by only privileged user. These files are usually only accessible to privileged users such as root user. Means everybody can access this bin, but this S bin only the root user will be accessing. So inside the root user, or if you will go to yes bin, you will be seeing those commands which can be accessed only by the root user. These commands can be accessed only by the root user. In the bin, whatever the commands are, both can access. Both can access. Both means this root user and standard user both can access if it is bin, but yes bin only the standard user. And then we do have run srv. And if you see, when we talk about srv, let's check the srv directory in Linux. It will store the server related files like HTML files, guys. Server related files, if you need to store, you will be storing into the srv. As you can see, server, the name is srv, server related file you will store here. Sys directory, sys directory is related to the system. As you can see, virtual file system that provides information about the system's hardware and kernel data structure, right? It can act as a bridge between user space and kernel space. Where the kernel will perform the work, that is the kernel space. Where the user will perform the work, that will be the user space. So it will look like this. This is another picture that you can also use it, guys, where you do have somewhat more detail. So we can we can use these images, uh, we can use directly here, right? So guys, this is what, this is what the info which we are using right now. So sys basically for systems hardware and kernel data structure, and it will help you to fulfill the gap between user space and kernel space. And the last, this tmp will store the temporary file, and where we have seen to store the log files. And the last one is usr directory in the Linux. Store user related programs, libraries and data files, guys. User related programs, and libraries along with the data type. So I think this document is not that much important. I'll do not save it, guys, because this picture will help you a lot to understand. So I'll share this picture rather than reading big. You can read small, you can understand, right? So this particular directory is used to store the user related programs, libraries and data files. So you can see now, guys, these all are the entire directory. This is what you can say the operating system is. Inside your uh, inside your Linux, these files will be coming, nothing else. Even the images or anything will be there, that will be there in almost any of the directory. It will be, these all are the directories. Inside these directories there will be multiple files which we can access here. So once again, guys, let's repeat. I'll do one thing. The I'll share up uh, the image which I have downloaded. Can be accessed by user, root user and standard user both. This S been only for root user, S been only for privileged user or root user. Boot boot means Linux OS related bootable files and everything will store into the boot directory. DEV is the device file will store here, like drivers and other stuff. etc will be storing all the configurations file. This home is the directory where you will be creating all the standards users home directory. In these lib and lib64 is the libraries file. In the local you can store some data. Media you can store some data which you can play. Here you can mount your drive in MNT. OPT, what was the OPT, guys? Slash OPT, I forgot. Slash OPT directory in the Linux was add-on software, sorry. It was used for software, add-on software. If you need to use add-on software, then you will be using OPT. You will be using OPT. And if you need to keep your system software info, that will be into USR. NOPT, both you can say we are using for storing the software. Pros, all process related file. If you need to run any processes, this root is the home directory of root. Run, we have seen sbin. Again it is the that we have seen commands for standard user. SRV, server related file. SYS, systems related data. In temporary files we can store. Here we can store in var, we can store the log files, right? That you can see into the picture. Now guys, if you need to if you need to manage the files and directory, you have to use ls command that you all know. And if you need to list the directory, you have to do ls and you can list the directory. For example, let's suppose here if I do ls, so if it is home, if I need to see what is there in the home, so directly I can do ls home. It will list what is there into the home directory. ls home, what is there into the home directory. For example for example, let's create some directory. Let's say mkdir folder 1. We have created mkdir folder 2 and folder 3. These folders we have created. If you list, these all are the folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. Now if I'll go in folder 1, cd space folder 1. In here if I'll create some file, touch file 1, file 2, two file I have created. And if I'll go back, cd space dot dot. Now my present working directory is /root. But if I need to check what is there into the folder 1, so if I'll write ls, it will right now it will show me all the three folders. But if I need to see one folder, ls folder 1 only, it will show in the folder 1 two files are there, right? This is what, this is the things that you can also do. Now these all are the useful options of ls command. The first one is -l, that will show the permission. -h, that will show you in the human friendly format. -a will show you all the hidden files. In -r, it will also list the subdirectories. So these four first of all we will check. These four first of all we will check. Guys, both screen is visible. Both screen is visible now, I guess. Are you able to see my
Yes,
both
sir. Yes, sir.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Command screen in this. Uh,
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So here you see the first one is -l. So if I'll keep ls, this will show these three folder. But if I'll keep ls space -l, it will give somewhat else some other details of these directories. Like these three are directories, these all are permission, these all are the root size, and everything has been given here, right? Next, -h in the human related format, ls space -h. It will also means this command ls and ls space -h almost same. -a will show the hidden file. ls space -a will show you the hidden file. These all are the hidden file, including hidden file, because folder 1, folder 2, folder 3 along with the dat bash logout, dat bash rc, all the files are coming. These all are the hidden files, right? And inside the folder 2 there is two file we have created. So if we will keep ls space -r, it will list other files also in each folder. What all are the files we do have, it will also list. See, in folder 1 two file, in folder 2 no file, in folder 3 no file. So it will show all subdirectories also, it will show. And next, you can sort alphabetically by file extension, right? Sort it by file extension. So again you will just type here, no extension we have used, neither we can just use ls space -x. So it will show you as a file extension, right? Alphabetically file extensions, right? Let's say if you create for touch command, mkdir or touch also you can use touch command, a b c d e. Let's say 5 files I am going to create. These all are my 5 files, right? So it is coming a b c d e like that. So again, if I need to print ls space hyphen, guys, the time has over, and this machine has been become inactive. So this is all about ls and other command. I'll show you about more command, about less command, and more less we do have here. Head command will come, tail command will come, and copy command will come, move command will come, remove command will come, mkdir command will come, all the basic command, pwd command will come, cd command will come, and that's it. Okay, so we'll do one thing. So here we'll start the same lab again, and we will be checking out the commands one by one as we were checking out the ls. So these all are the basic commands which we are going to learn now, and after this we will be increasing the speed because these all are the fundamental concept that we are going to have right now. After this, little bit we will try to accelerate, and within this week your linux will finish, guys. Within this week linux will finish. So after in month of feb, first week of feb, we will try to keep the uh, test quiz, and the quiz score will also store into this canvas portal. So we will try to keep some quizzes also, guys, and some assignments that you all have to do. But those assignments and everything will be quite simple and easy because if you will learn throughout the session, everything you can finish in 10 to 15 minutes. It is like that only. All right, let's start, guys. This is your lab, and now we will open the putty again. So here we will try to see it one by one. And guys, if any one of you is not able to understand at any point of time, whenever we are going ahead with the command, please let me know. Please let me know, like, to repeat it if you do not understand anything. That's why I'm taking time to explain the things, and that's why the syllabus is running little bit slow, not slow, little bit slow, because I want that everybody should understand it clearly. And these things, whatever we are learning right now, we will be using. We will be using after the Linux. Whatever we are learning into the Linux, we will be using just after Linux only in the AWS. All right, so this is your machine, and I hope you all have connected the machine, guys. Connected the machine.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So here we go. So we need to continue with ls again. So one side I'll be keeping up the document, and the other side I'll be keeping up this Linux machine, right? So that we will be able to perform all the documents given commands one by one, right? So let's keep it here, and this document will keep it here. Okay, guys, this document is visible to everybody. It's
Yes,
visible.
sir. Yes,
Perfect,
sir.
perfect. So let's start. So let's start seeing the command one by one. So the first command which we are going to see here is ls command, which is used to list the files and directory. For example, let's say you do have one file here, and parallelly, if you do have one directory here, so you can just list both, right? If you do ls. You can list file and directory both. Now if you need to list with some additional permissions, user, owner, when we have created all the details, then you have to use -l. Extra listing it will give you. In ls space -h, it will show you in the human friendly mode, as we are able to see by keeping ls directly. In ls space -a will show you the hidden files, hidden directories. If you do have, you will be using ls space -a. -r, let's suppose if you do have one more file into the folder one. Let's say we go into the folder one and we create a file here by keeping up the touch command, and we can give the file name as a file in, the file is in folder 2. Let's say this file which we are creating, it is into folder 2, this file. I'll go back again, and after that if I'll do ls, you can see ls. By keeping ls only, we can see file and folder 1. We are not able to see the file which is into folder 1. But if you keep ls space capital R, then you will be able to see what is the file which is available into the folder 1. That also you can see. So it will list the subdirectories, subfolders, like that. In later on we can use -x, ls space -x. It will list the in your ascending alphabetically by the extension, and you can short it also. You can use to short by the size also. You can use ls space -s. It will short by size. You can see 0, first file will come and then folder. If you create another file, touch 1 2 3 4, in 1 2 3, in 1 2, in 1, these 4 file I have created, right? And if I list, it will be coming like this. Either if I'll ls space -s, if I'll short it, it will come like this, as you can see, right? Clear, guys? And you can short by version, ls space -v. You can short by version, means recently created, in recently modified. Let's say if I'll go to file, or if I'll go to one, if I'll send some text to work, let's say 1 2 folder, right? Let's say I'm sending hello, echo hello to 1 2, right? And now if I'll just keep ls space -v, see, it is coming as it is, but in the version it should show which is the latest version modified. Maybe it is not modified by ecode, but it will modify if you modify it by using by using vim, or by using nano, right? So this is all about ls command, guys. There are somewhat more into the ls command. If you need to get more details about the ls command, you have to give man ls. And here you can see ls to list directory and file. This is the syntax, ls option and file. Description, it is used to list the files and directories. Hyphen a, as you can see here, hyphen a, mm, sorry, hyphen a किधर गया? -a, do not ignore entries, means all the hidden file you can see. Capital A, do not list, means you will be able to see dot and double dot hidden file. -l, author, means who owns the file. -b will print the C style. So all the details you will be able to see here, all the options of ls command. -d, it will list directories. -f, hyphen G, hyphen capital G, so many will come, guys. All the ABCD, everyone it comes. But remember, what is your need, that one only you will be using. Next one is the more command, guys. Next one is more command. More command we are using to view the file content, which is not fixing in a single screen. If the file is big, and the the text of the file you are not able to see in a single screen. If you need to see that, then you will be using more command. It will load entire content of the file before display. Whatever the text we do have, it will load before the display. Let's say if I'll write here, let's say nano, and let's delete all the file first. Rm space hyphen rf space star. This will delete entire files, guys. Now if you do ls, no file is available, right? So if you create a file by nano, let's say nano in text file we want to create, text.txt we want to create, and we want to just create this into multiple line, guys, which will not fit on the single screen, right? Which will not fix on the single screen. Okay, now I'll save it, control x y enter. So if I'll do cat to see this text file, so what it will show, see what it is showing from the cat. By using cat, what we are able to see, the last lines we are able to see, but first line we are not. These lines we are not able to see on the screen. You need to either scroll it up, scroll it down, then only you can see. But if you use more command, before this text.txt, more text.txt if you use, then you can see from top of it you are able to use. If you need to scroll, you can scroll it by keeping up the enter button. By pressing the enter button, you can scroll it down only. You can scroll it down only, right? So you will be able to see the text which are given in a file which will not fix on a entire screen. Then you will be using more will load the entire data, and after that it will display you the data. And here is some of options that has been given into more. Hyphen D will display information about how to navigate at the bottom of the screen. In the more also, if you need to go into the bottom of screen, you have to use more space hyphen D space whatever the text file we do have. Straight away it will bring you into the, it is bringing the same. We need to just go down, display information about how to navigate the bottom. So how to navigate the bottom, it means that just not the file name, straight away we can just use like this, more space hyphen D, right? So here it will show you how to navigate here and there without keeping up the file name, more space hyphen D, right? Display help, display count logical, supreme pass, do not scroll, p, like that. There are few, number of lines which you can see here. You can add it, right? These info that has been given. Like the same we do have less command. We do have less command as we do have more command. More is for listing, less is also for listing. Less is also for listing the data which is available in a file. Let's say our file is text.txt. If you list, now what it is doing, it is it is it is listing the file here, but from the top. How the less works, guys? Less will, you can scroll up down through content here into the less, and you can press Q to close it. But remember, it will not load all the file first. Whatever will come in the screen, that it will bring first in one screen, and remaining if you will switch to the next display, then only it will bring the other screen. So if you do have a very big file, if you do have, that time you will be using less command. And hyphen n will show the line number, hyphen x will display the content after the last command, and plus f watches the file content change. So these thing also we can use, guys, hyphen n hyphen x. So let's say if I am just keeping less space hyphen n space text.txt, so it will just give the line number along with the text, line number along with the text, you can see. All right, is it clear, guys, to everybody? Guys, am I
Yes, sir.
audible to
Yes, sir.
everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So why I'm speaking so loud, other people is coming and telling. Guys, are you able to hear me now with this
Yes.
frequency?
Yes.
So why to shout this much here? Okay. So hyphen n we have seen, it will give you the line number also. Hyphen x will display the content after the last command. Let's say again hyphen x, we can keep it here. Okay. And then hyphen f also we can try. So this is what we do have into less command, and then we do have head command. Let's say if you do have a file here, and in the file, let's say if I am using nano again and I'm creating a file 1.txt, and here I'm giving hello, how are you, where are you going, like that. In the message form, I'll write I am fine. Okay, like that. Let's say 4 line I have written. Now by using head and tail command we will be talking. So by default, if you will use head, by default if you use head, so that time, let's say you are not using with this file, we do have some other file text.txt. In the text.txt, if you see, there are so many text, so many lines we are able to get, right? So many lines. And if we need to get how many lines we do have there, so we can use the less command, less space hyphen n space the text.txt. It will just show us how many number of lines we have written. So it is showing 60 lines we have written, right? Out of this 60 line, if we need to get the top 10 line, then we will be keeping head command, head text.txt. It will just give the top 10 line, top 10 headline, right? And if you want only few of it, so let's say which file I have created, file1.txt now. So if I need to check with this head, and now I want that few lines, 2 lines only. So how many number of lines? Hyphen n. Number of line 2 from the file called uh, file1.txt. So we are able to see this 2 line, right? And hyphen c we can use to first byte of the number. Let's say, let's say here I am using cat command to show you this file called file1.txt. So here first byte is h, second byte is he, third byte is hel, four byte is hell, 5 byte is hello. So if I'll print 5 byte, it will print hello. So for printing it, we can just write head space hyphen c. How many byte we need? 4 or 5 byte from the file called file1.txt. Hello, it is showing here hello, right? So like that we can print also by using head. And like the same tail, head is from the top and tail is from the bottom, tail is from the bottom. So we do have these two file to test, file 1, file text.txt. In file 1, if you see, We do have four line, 1 2 3 4 line, right? And last line whether we have written something or not. If we need to check whether something has been written in the last line because it is showing blank, so we can check it out also by keeping tell command, tell space hyphen n space one line from the same file called file1.txt. So see, it is blank line, it is blank line which is coming here, blank line. But if you will print the two line, then that line will come. So we can just print two line. So by default tail will also give you the 10. See, I am fine is coming. By default 10 lines. The less will also, sorry, this tail will also give from bottom. From bottom. If you need to test it by the text.txt file, so you can just write here tail space hyphen without hyphen tail space text.txt. So it will show you the last 10 line, which start from blank and then F 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? And then again by byte, if you need to see, you can just write here tail space hyphen c space number of byte, let's say 10 byte you want from the text.txt file, so you can print it the 10 bytes. Monitor for file changes hyphen f, it is useful for log files. If you do have log files, then you will be able to use hyphen f. If the file is getting updated regularly, we can use it here itself, tell space hyphen f text file.txt, right? So that will also print the bottom 10 line, bottom 10 line, and you will be able to check directly the updated version of the file. Then we are coming into the cp command, guys. Next is our cp command. Next is our cp command. So um, what do we say? This is going enter q to quit. Sorry, how to come out now? Where it went? Tail space hyphen f to modify. uh, Coming out. Control C, clear up the screen. All right, let's see the copy command now, guys. So let's delete other file which I have created. Rf n star means it will delete all the file. Ls no file. Let's create two folder by keeping mkdir folder A, and we'll create another folder called folder B. Let's suppose we do have these two folder. Now if I am creating a file saying ecode, and I am just keeping file hello file, and this I am just creating a file here as a hello dot txt, right? If you do ls, this is the hello.txt file. Now if I need to copy this hello.txt to folder A, so the command is cp copy command, and after that the file name, which is hello.txt, and where to keep in folder A. Folder A you have to keep, so you have to just hit enter. Now if you go into folder A, if you go to folder A, here folder A is cd space fol A, folder A. Then if you list, the file is here, hello.txt. File is here also, or without going back to folder A, we can just list folder A, folder A. It is saying hello.txt is there. If the same file, hello.txt, if you need to copy into folder B, then you have to just type here cp space file name is hello.txt and copy into folder B. copy into folder B, simple, it will copy. Now if you ls folder B, the hello.txt is here, right? So how exactly we do copy? We used to keep copy command, and after that we will be keeping up the file, and then we will be keeping up the destination, right? This is how we do copy. That's so simple. And these all are the additional flags are options. Hyphen a archive file, if you are archiving the file, let's say I am creating one more directory called folder 3, and if I need to archive the same text file called hello.txt into the folder 3, just enter. Now if you ls folder 3, it will archive the file here, hello.txt. cp-f, it will just forcefully it will copy the file. -fc, it should copy space like this. Let's try one more time by removing this -a. If I'll keep this command, it is copying hello.txt to folder 3, right? Copying hello.txt to folder 3. But if you modify the text hello.txt, you open nano and you open hello.txt, we will try to add one more line here, and after that I'll save it. And now if I'll copy this, then now if we go back, it will be overwritten, it will be overwriting. So if you need to forcefully overwrite, cp space -f and then hello.txt to the folder, to our folder A, we can do it also, right? And then there is a cp space -l. I is for ask before overwriting, ask before, cp space -i. Let's say we want to copy, but before it should ask. So cp space -i, hello file we want to copy into the folder B now. See, it is asking overwrite, say yes, it will now overwrite. -l to create the link instead of file. Let's say we are creating another file called new file. Let's say I'll just create touch new file, right? I have created here new file, but in folder 3, now I will just create a link into the folder 3 of this new file into the folder 3. So what will happen? The link will be created, if I do ls, this new file is here, but the same new file is there into the folder 3. Shall we check it? So we will go into the folder 3 and we will do ls. So here new file is there, we can just check it out by keeping ls space -l. This is the new file. But what if I'll delete this new file from here, delete new file from here? So whether the file is there into the folder 3 which we have created the link, it is still there, it is still there, it is still there. But this is by keeping cp-l. It is not the soft link. Soft link will be by using ln space -l. So this is again a linking of the file, guys. One file will get linked with another file. And cp space -l, capital L, it is symbolic link. -n, if you keep, no overwrite, you are not going to overwrite. And cp space -r, recursive copy including hidden file also you can copy by keeping -r. -u, you can update the copy when source is newer than the destination. Source is newer than the destination, so you can update by keeping -u -v for print information masses, right? So if you have copied it, let's say any copy command which we have used before, this one. So here if I'll come and here if I'll keep v, so it will print a message also like your copied has been done. For this from here to here it has been copied. By the message it will show us. Then we are coming into the rm command, remove command. Remove command. Rm is for remove command. So if we need to remove anything, let's say ls, if you need to remove hello.txt, rm space hello.txt, it will remove. If you need to remove the folder, rm space folder 1, folder 3, let's see, it is a directory. It cannot remove, it is a directory. So there is a different command to remove the directory. You have to use rm space if you need to remove the directory. So you have to use d command, right? So rm space -d and then folder 3. So it is asking the directory is not empty. If your directory is empty, then you can delete. So let's say rm space -d, folder A may be empty. So it is again not empty. If it is not empty and if you need to delete, then you have to use F again, F again. Never prompt user to not ask, it will delete directly. So the same command which we have used before, if we keep here F, again it is saying directory is
We have
not,
to use RM minus RF, sir. RF.
sorry, yeah, rm space -rf and then the directory name, right? Folder A, it will delete, right? R basically, as you can see here, D will remove the blank directory. Rm space -d. If the directory is empty, then we can delete it. For example, if you make the directory dir1, let's say dir1, and now the same directory, if you need to delete, rm space -d space dir1. So this can be deleted, but not non-empty directory. For non-empty directory, you can use rm space -r, and let's say the directory which we want to delete is fol3, it will delete. Hyphen is rm space -r will delete the directory where the file will be. Hyphen f will not ask, it will directly delete. And hyphen I it will ask. Hyphen v display the deleted file name. This is what we do have into rm. And if you need to delete everything, rm space -rf space star. So if you keep star, it will take all the file and directory together and it will delete everything. Nothing is here now. Next, mkdir command, you all know. Mkdir means making up the directory, make directory, and you can create any directory, call folder fo1, right? And it is giving us some options also. -m to set up permission to this directory, and create a parent directory -p. So you will be creating parent directory, you will be creating you can set up the permission to directory. Let's say you are creating a directory mkdir and you want to set up some permission. So here you will be keeping -m in the permission, let's say 777 you want to give this permission. You will be learning in future. Folder 2 I am creating, and if I'll show you ls space -l, this folder 2 is having all the permission, rwx, right? Like that we can also give the permission. And -p will be create a parent directory. Let's say if you need to create two fold inside one directory, one more directory, like that, so you can create mkdir -p parent directory. So let's say you want to create a directory called uh, let's say directory 1 dir1, inside that dir2, inside the dir3, inside that dir4, like that if you need to create. Now if you list dir1 is there, if you go into dir1 you will ls, you will get dir2. If you go into dir2 you will be getting dir3. If you go into dir3 you will be getting dir4, right? This is dir4. If you go into dir4 you can create the file here. Here is nothing because here you can create the file. So if you need to create multiple directory or single directory with the parent directory or mask, if you want to apply some permission, you will be following these options. And the next one is your move command. Next one is your move command, guys. When we are talking about move command, copy and move are similar. In copy, the existing file will be there, but in move, the existing file will not be there. That is the difference between copy and move. So, move command will move a file from one directory to another directory. For example, let's delete everything. So, we'll be doing it on the clean screen. Let's create two directory, mkdir space directory1 d1 and directory2 d2. Two directory we have created, right? And now if we need to move the file, there should be a file, so I'll use touch command to create a file, file. And now if I need to copy, sorry, if I need to move this file from here to d1, what is the present working directory? It is /home/cc2 user. The file is here. From here we can send it to the d1. So what we will do is we will write move command, and after move command we need to keep the file and then source and destination. So file is file is file file is file, and the source is here and destination is d1. Now if you ls d1, you can just check it out by keeping ls. The file is not here, but the same file will be in d1, right? Now the same file, you are here, your present working directory is here, /home/ec2 user, and inside ec2 user you do have d1 and d2. Now if you need to move d1, sorry, the file from d1 to d2, so you can also move here. You need to write the source. Now the source you will start from absolute path. First home will come, and then EC2 user will come. Inside that D1 will come. In D1 the file is this one file. This file you want to move into D2. So again home will come, /EC2 user will come, and then D2 will come. Here you want to paste the file. You moved it. Now the file is not into D1. Now the file will be into D2, directory 2, because we have moved it. So this is called absolute path from /home/ec2 user/d1/file. This file you can copy from here to there, right? Sorry, not copy, move. Moving further, we will be seeing these options. It will just prompt before overwriting if file is there. -f, it will avoid being prompted. -n, it will not over does not overwrite existing file. -v, it will give you the detail like it has been copied, right? So these all are the few options that has been given. And last we are coming up into the rmdir. Also you can use ls command. Let's say directory 2 is there, so remove directory command you can also use to delete the directory. You do ls delete rmdir d2. It is not empty, so again you have to use r. So rm space, sorry, rmdir space -r space d2, so it will delete. Sorry. So if the data is there, that time you cannot use rmdir, that time you will use rm hyphen r, right? So here we can delete rm space hyphen r d2, right? And last one is pwd command, which will show the present working directory. And this is what you need to understand, guys. Absolute path versus relative path. What is absolute path? Basically, before going ahead with the path, you need to understand how exactly the path works into the Linux. And apart from it, it is having two paths. One is absolute path, one is relative path. Both I'll show you here. Both I'll show you here. So whenever we are talking about this path, guys, you need to remember one thing only. You need to remember one thing. Which folder is in which folder? Let's say um, something is called present working directory. Present working directory. Now, present working directory means presently, currently, currently. What is your working directory? What is the working directory? What is the working directory? Means user is working into which directory? This will show the pwd command. And there are two paths. One we used to call relative path, and one we used to call absolute path. Absolute path. When we talk about absolute path, first we'll talk about absolute means in Linux, everything start from the slash. Inside the slash, all the file system will be slash bin slash dev slash etc slash home slash everything, right? So if any user is using any directory, so that users will be using their own directory. Let's say user is standard user. This username is ec2 user. This user is standard user. This user is using this directory, home directory of it. So first you will come into the slash, and then you will go into the home, and inside the home you will separate this directory to the next directory under the home. It will come ec2 user. Inside the ec2 user, let's say you have created a folder a, and inside that there is a file a. So if you need to reach, you have to just write slash home slash ec2 user slash folder a slash file a. So you will be able to get this file as a absolute way. This is absolute path. This is absolute path. What is relative path? If this user is in his home directory, means this user, if you keep present working directory, if you check, user will come directly like this slash home slash ec2 user, ec2 user. This is by default this user's home directory. From here, if user is doing some command copy and move, so here user will write cp, and from here itself, from this folder ec2 user folder, if it wants to copy it into some other folder, let's say folder b, folder b, if this user wants to copy some file f, cp file f to the folder b. This is the relative path. This is the relative path. This folder b comes under relative path because already the user is into the slash home and slash ec2 user. From there user is moving up to any other folder. That means relative path. But absolute means it will start from slash home slash ec2 user slash folder a. Let's check it out into the Linux ones. For example, do ls, nothing is here, nothing is here. What is our present working directory? Our present working directory is slash home slash ec2 user. Already my user is in home directory already. So if user needs to copy something in some other directory, let's say directory 1 I have created. Now this directory 1 is there, and we can create a file. We can create a file by the name of f. Now if I want to move this file, let's say two file f and g, again one more I'll create f and double f, let's say two file I have created, f file and double f file. Now I'll copy f by using relative path, because this right now present working directory is ec2, and if you ls, this directory 1 and this 2 file is inside ec2 user only. Now first time I'll copy or I'll move by using relative path, and second time absolute path. So let's say I want to move f from here to directory 1. So if you are writing directory 1 here directly, dir1, so it is a relative path. The file has been moved out. As you can see, f is not there. If you ls dir1, you will see f here. Now if you need to move double f by using absolute path, so you will keep move command, double f, and then we'll keep the relative path here /home, /home /ec2 user /directory1. Now here only we want to move the file. Last time we have seen, because we were already into ec2, so inside the ec2 directory 1 was there. Now we are writing the absolute path, so this will also move double f into directory 1. Now if you see here, there is no f1 f2, but if you go into directory 1, if you do ls, here f and double f both are here. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear to everybody?